And what I just realized, there's some more dialogues to be had. Couldn't help but notice how you were eyeballing the disfavored symbol littered about the camp. Hmm. Yes, well, it's hardly a symbol now, is it? It's true, but it used to be a pride of Graven Ash's legion before Kairos made them deface it. What happened? Word has it that Ash has been under more scrutiny than the other Archons, seeing as he took a stand against Kairos in the past. Even though he bent the knee in the end, that doesn't place him above suspicion. Kairos and the other Archons keep him on a tight leash. Okay, what's this? Before he bent the knee to Kairos, Graven Ash rallied his legion against the Overlord's authority. His prowess on the battlefield ingratiated him to the Archons, who welcomed him into their ranks in exchange for his obedience. Cool. Ash's troop impressed the growing empire, but Kairos made them sacrifice everything they were up to the point Ash surrendered. They've been disfavored ever since, the fighting to earn back their honor. So that's why they're called that. I guess that's why you don't cross the Overlord. Kairos holds a grudge with a mean, jealous streak. Anyway, other questions.
What do you need?
Yes, are you a spy for the voices of Nerat? With regards you with an unreadable expression while she is wearing a helmet that hides her face. Her mismatched eyes look at each of yours in return, huh? Insufficient reputation. I mean, does it even matter? You have to decide for yourself whether or not I'm worth trusting. Is keeping me along worth the risk that I'll spill the occasional word about what you ate for breakfast? The voice of Narat is the archon of secret, not the archon of honesty or fair dealings. If you don't assume that everyone already reports to him, you're not being careful enough, alright? Tell me more about
If you
yourself.
insist. I'm a Scarlet Fury. That should raise some flags for you. It means that I'm good at killing, and more importantly, that I enjoy it.
At least you're honest about it.
What I won't enjoy are the pleasures of funerary rites packed with weeping mourners. Someday I'll fall in battle, and then they'll roll me into a mass grave or heap me atop a shit-stained wagon. One more anonymous, knife-riddled piece of meat.
Sounds like you got it all figured out for yourself.
Until then, I plan to take whatever I can from life and have a little fun along the way.
What's life before a chorus? What life? What life? As far as I'm concerned, I didn't exist before the chorus. There was some girl in a farm wearing my face and talking with my voice, but she wasn't me. Sometimes she would sneak out at night, take a scythe, and have some fun with the livestock. Our shared interests began and ended there. When the Scarlet Chorus swept through my village on that long trek from the bastard city, that was when I finally woke up. I buried my old life, took red vengeance on everyone who'd wronged me, and found the freedom I could only dream was out there. Alright, parents? My mother ran a successful farm, and I worked it for a number of years before I found the chorus. She was a hard, bitter woman, acted like the world owed her something. She never talked about my father, though I figured out a thing or two about him later on. He was a merchant from the Northern Empire who took a liking to her, and she him. He stayed around only long enough to get what he wanted. But never mind him. My mother never had what you would call taste, so he couldn't have been terribly influential to me if he did stick around. Okay. Again. That's as naive a question as I have ever heard. Kairos is everywhere. If you aren't in the Overlord's army, you're being trampled by it. Of course, I could have labored on a family farm into my maturing years, married some dolt, and littered him a nursery of squealing piglets. Having my body torn to pieces by smaller versions of me sounds like fun. Now, that's that's one way to put it. Then one day, when I decided enough was enough, I slit my husband's throat over breakfast and run off to join the chorus anyway. My way saved a lot of time. Will smooth back the feathers in her hair, and shakes her head with a smile. Ah. Well, you're a killer. Yes, now you like me. At least you understand. Chorus praises and rewards the thing inside me that I would suppress in civilized company. Life is too short to repress every desire, right? Especially if I have anything to say about it. Okay. Well, one of these days you and I might have to fight. Who knows? How'd you get conscripted? And yeah, I think you have the wrong idea about me. The chorus didn't take me as a sobbing maid. I strode into their camp and enlisted. Someone tossed me a dented blade. I lived through initiation, spent a week butchering my neighbors, and moved on with my new kin. Alright. I didn't waste time with goodbyes. My mother had long since died, and the rest of my family were louses. Louses? Louses? The girl I used to be, even she knew that she was worth more than all of them combined. What about them feathers? Oh, okay. Alright, enough questions about the past. What about the
The
Scarlet
Scarlet Chorus
Chorus?
is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers, but it's also a little niche of freedom that I never had. Once I survived training and met my Scarlet Fury sisters, I saw a different side of the Howling Mob.
I say.
For new recruits shoved to the front lines, training means surviving the first battle. Anything beyond that is for the fighters who show potential, whether as blade dancers or arcane madmen. There's nothing in the world like getting put through the paces as a Scarlet Fury. Every day is a test of your commitment and passion. Failure means death. The first few weeks were the hardest, but also the most rewarding. I earned my name, picked up some quality weapons, and met my sisters.
Alright. Oh, cool. That's cool, I
The
guess.
elite fighters of the Scarlet Chorus. Your typical Horde recruit fights with a rusty spoon and a chip on his shoulder, but the Scarlet Furies are, well, different.
How
We
different.
focus our madness. We coordinate, we kill, we dance. It's like art. Imagine a sculpture that twisted in weird, beautiful angles, and then gutted you too fast for you to realize what was happening.
I don't like either of these options. You earned your name. If you think a simple farmer from Tears would name her child Verse, I suggest you visit my old village. Most of them were walking around with surnames like Barrel or Fish. Not the most creative bunch, she smiles and shakes her head. The chorus takes your name away. Wherever you were before, you aren't that person no more. Then you earn back a name through great deeds, usually murderous ones. That's why you see choirmen walking around with names like Stinkmouse or Face First. There's probably a good reason for it. The voices of Narad gave me this name. When the Scarlet Chorus runs howling into battle, he doesn't hear war, he hears a symphony. And when I fight with blade or bow, he told me that my music stands out louder than anyone else's and contains too many parts to be easily defined. When you least suspect it, Archon of Secrets can be downright charming. Ah well. Oh, I have gained fear. You already know me by my real name. It's Verse. So looking for whatever arbitrary collection of letters and sound my mother thought was appropriate when she didn't even know me. Then you're out of luck. I buried that name long time ago. Long by my standards, anyway. Weapon skills. When I was just a kid, didn't take me long to realize I was a natural. I could pick up a rusty kitchen knife and skewer a rat from across the room. Scarlet Chorus gave me opportunity to further educate myself. My sisters were always a bit surprised by how quickly I took to different fighting styles. She frowns for a moment, then she shakes off whatever she wanted to say.
What do
Alright,
you
back
need
to
to
my
know?
question. Before, you hesitated when you brought up fighting styles. Insufficient. Ah. Hmm. Let's see if I can force it. Oh, loyalty. That's as starchy and literal a point as I've ever heard, but you're not wrong. Also, I like how you handled yourself there, throwing your authority around like it meant something. I guess it did. I mentioned before that I'm good at picking different weapons and fighting techniques. The truth is, I'm better than good. I could flay a man so cleanly that I leave a single strip of skin behind. That I So cleanly that I'd leave a single strip of. Huh? 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 What? Huh? I don't get it. Does it mean the single strip of skin becomes a rope? Because, he wouldn't even need to be tied down and all that. That was one of the first thing I discovered about myself after joining the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Narat recognizes it in me as well, which is why he singled me out for Scarlet Fury training. Have you tried that flaying trick before? Let's just say that when we ran out of canvas for pitching tents, the fifth eye handed me a knife and pointed me to the prison pens. Okay, that doesn't sound a sanitary place to sleep in, but whatever. My sister were the masters of their fighting forms, but since they died, my style has changed. Wait, they all died? All of them? Almost like I can kill as they did. I could pick up a bow, a lance, and anything really. I could tear someone to pieces with a weapon that I only watched my sisters use. I don't know what it could mean, and that worries me. Oh, sounds like you got some powers. Who were they? Would be more appropriate. Three whispers, red geysers seeking sheath. Best fighters I've ever met. There wasn't a foe we couldn't take down together. Our fighting style complements perfectly, so we divided up the killing work like bards sharing a song. At least we used to. She presents a solemn salute. Tell me about Three Whispers. Calm as the surface of a pond. Light on her feet, more than one foe trip and fell on their own blade due to the Whisper's crafty footwork. Verse lets her gaze slip away from you as a fleeting moment of sorrow steals her attention. Red Gazer? One woman siegebreaker. She would launch herself at a foe like a battering ram. Not even the disfavored flanks. Phalanx, eh? Could have withstood that dumb suicidal wench. Kairos' eyes, but she was something to behold. Verse slams a fist into her palm. Tell me about seeking sheath. Girl could pass a spear through 12 rings on the far side of a battlefield. Kairos helped any foe who approached her, marching single file. She made a game of spitting as many soldiers as possible on the same javelin. What happened? They were scouting around Vendrin's well during the siege, back when we only suspected the god of organizing in secret. My sister and I came upon a group of them. Or Kairos knows, maybe they found us. No one said anything. We threw iron and bronze. That was when everything went wrong. I was supposed to take point and occupy the guard with a dance of blade work. Something disorienting. While my sisters picked their marks. I hesitated, lost my nerves. Instead of rushing the Oathbreakers, I froze with my weapon drawn. My sister fought on without me, but they were off balance, and whatever I had was catching. They died, I lived. My sisters were relying on me to lead the dance, and I failed them. I think you like this one. Yes, you're absolutely right. If I had witnessed the same in one of my sisters, I might have even killed her for endangering the rest of us. Good thing for me that I didn't get the chance. She chuckles, but there's no humor in it. Hesitation is a rot. It's unbecoming of any chorus members, and unheard of in a Scarlet Fury. I would cut in from my body and cauterize the wound if only I knew its source. She grimaced once more and turned inward, contemplating. Huh. Any idea why you lost your nerves? I wish I had an explanation. For the first time I lost the dance. The song of murder drew silent. Instead there was only rigid, organized control. Huh. Alright, well, okay.
What do you need to know?
Who are the Scarlet Chorus leaders? Voices are not. Narad is a spider of the center of the web. He acts like the army belongs to him, and he only lends it to Kairos because it suits his purposes, both of which are true. The rest are all offshoots of the voices, like the Fifth Eye. Once you get down to rank and file, the Scarlet Chorus organize around a motley bunch of gang bosses who call the shots. What do you want to know? Tell me about the voices. Madman, but never stopped me from following his orders. Even in a legion as cutthroat as the chorus, you know better to get on the voice's bad side. People who cross him, or just people he meets, don't tend to survive the experience. If he ever seems disorganized or lost, it's because he's channeling one of his personality he's devoured over the years. His mannerisms shift over to someone else, someone who's probably long since dead. Better to die than become part of the voices. True powers you can't begin to understand. The voices of Narat steals the minds and knowledge of his victim. You know this happened often during the campaign against the Tears. What he gains from his ability, beyond his apparent madness, is anyone's guess. You know better than to ask him about it directly. Alright. One makes himself powerful. Archons of Secret he is, and he didn't earn that title lightly. People say that he knows more than every sage in the tiers combined, and he can think 1,000 steps ahead of other archons. Okay, Sage, one of the longest surviving schools of magic in the tiers. The School of Ink and Quill is a venerable institution devoted to the acquisition and preservation of knowledge. Also, the sages profess, putting more of their energy towards amassing knowledge than disseminating it. They began their scriptorium in 17TR, and through a series of incremental expansions, the structure became the Vellum Citadel, only to be known as the Burning Library after Kairos' Edict of Fire brought ruination in 430TR. And all sages know magic, but those that have mastered the guild's traditional spell can employ magic of protection and preservation. It is a poorly kept secret that the sages have gradually acquired a wide array of magic practiced by rival mage guilds over the generation. See, it would be putting it lightly to say he's never alone under that disapproving helmet of his. If you make secrets your business, I guess having people constantly whisper in your ears is a good thing. I usually want people to shut up, but to each their own. Fifth Eye, what about him? Walking nightmare, that one. Could begin to guess who lives under that armor and speaks with that reedy voice. But I'll tell you what I know. When your world is built on secrets, it pays to have a few extra eyes. The voices of Nanrat have eyes in abundance, some that he keeps close, and others he sends out in the wilderness. Whoever the fifth eye was before he came into Arkan's service, now he's just a half-mad, jabbering speech hole. A bodily function, in other words, an eye. Ah. That's IR people. Maybe they used to be people, whatever they were, they're eyes now. Folks like to whisper that the voices of Narat takes his servants and cuts out all the extra parts that they don't need. She makes a quick snipping gesture with her fingers. I once heard that the voice and the fifth eye in a tent together. The voices kept screaming redundancies every time. Another gout of blood would spray on the canvas wall. I can't even guess what he was cutting out. How many eyes does the Arcana Secrets have? Their numbers keep changing, either because it grows or because rumors don't mean shit. 3, 7, 19. Some even say that all of us are eyes and we don't even know it. She shakes her head in a thoughtful disapproval. It's one of those questions that drives you mad if you allow yourself to think about it for too long. Hey, you could be one of two non-Zai. Bet you never thought of that. Well, I guess. Maybe. Who knows? Back to my other questions. Yes, gang bosses. A boss is anyone who can rally enough support to kill the previous boss. They cling to command until someone gets wise and stabs them in the back. Sounds like an occupational hazard. Tipcap leads the Filthy Lambs. Locks leads the Rusted Heart. Sharp used to lead the Bones Boys, but couldn't say where he ended up after they broke his leg. Waterwheel orders around the Hairy Hunters. Holes for shit leads the Lazy Mulkins. Then Scurvy Queen, Finger Food, and Wild Gash collectively leads the Ladies of Perpetual Strangulations. Or perpetual, that's a long time to strangle. I'm forgetting at least a dozen more. I've even led a gang or two in my day. They never survive very long, so no point in getting attached. You led a gang? Don't act so surprised. I can crack a whip better than any of those daisies at the disabled labor camps. But I was never that interested in the power struggle of those grunts and scabs in the middle. I want to stand on the top like an apex predator. Here I am. So when I got tired of a gang, I disbanded and let the other bosses fight over the new recruits. That much amuses me, at least. Some of my old mates are still alive and hanging around wherever they ended up. Alright, what else we got? How about
What do
something
you need to
else?
know?
Have thoughts about your combat ability.
Do you now? You already know that I memorized the moves of my Scarlet Fury sisters. If it seems like a total mystery to me, I don't know how you could have arrived at any conclusions, but I'm open to ideas.
Yeah, I got some lore to spend on it.
I hope I didn't hear you say that, Fatebinder, because the implication is more than either of us is prepared to handle.
Is that so?
The Voices of Narat is a monster. We both know that Taratus has never seen a creature more despicable than him. Never mind that he's kind of my boss.
Uh-huh. True powers. Okay, that's the same thing. And comparing you to voices, only this talent you exhibit.
My little talent that latches onto my friends and bleeds them dry, you mean? Because I never asked for it.
Wow, you sound almost regretful over that.
I've traveled with the chorus for years. I've seen what the voices can do, and it scares me, all right? The idea that everything I am could be reduced to that. If I had that kind of power, if I could become like him, I don't know how I could live with myself. I'd rather drown myself in a camp latrine.
Yeah. You don't gotta become like him, just be selective, you know?
I'm sure he had the same idea when he got started. But you know what they say about power? It's usually wielded by assholes.
Usually, yeah. I mean, you are already an asshole, kind of.
My sisters died. You should have seen us. We were amazing together. I didn't mean to take away what made them special, but I did it all the same. And let me tell you, it felt terrible. If I lived a century, I might never figure out how to make that happen again. And more importantly, I don't want to.
Alright. Wait, can I go back again? Uh-huh. That's been on my mind for some time, and I still don't have an explanation that fits. I have a few ideas, but worse frowns and deep thoughts. Ah, I see. I don't got requirements. Scarlet Fury shares a sort of a link. That's how we coordinate our dances in heat of battle. We don't pass messages or anything, but our emotion and intentions sync up without a word. She starts worrying one of her knives. After a moment, she sighs and slaps the blade back into its sheath. I see. Go on. One thing I always knew was that I felt this connection more keenly than my sister did. I could pick up nuances that they missed, and I could feel them from further away. When my sister died, I felt each of them getting yanked out of my brain like someone pulling nails from a garden. Snails from a garden, but some of their slime's residue was still there. Does that make any sense? Eh, eh. I think she'll like the second one. Yeah, skills? Not sure I call it that. There's something parasitic about it. But I take your point. There's an advantage to this thing I'm experiencing. I'm not above using it against our foe. Well, what about the fear you just... well, whatever. Oh, how you painted. Some part of my sister broke off in me when they died, and now I'm left to deal with it. Just another day in the tears, right? Thoughts on the disfavored, for a warren of self-entitled children so wound up in delusions of honor that they are likely to hang themselves by their own high standards. Wish they stayed in Northern Empire where they belong. Then we could get some real work done in the tears, alright? What do you think about the leader? The boss. Seen enough of that high-minded braggart to know that he's all duty, nothing but a charismatic, broad-shouldered scarecrow. Calls himself the Archon of War, though by the way he stalls his forces waiting for a better strategy to present itself, you would think he's afraid of battle. You would think that someone more deserving would take Ash's mantle from him, but the disfavored have this cult of personality built around their great general. In their eyes, he can do no wrong. Ash's connection to his troops. Raven Ash protects. His soldiers keep harping on those words like it means something. I don't deny that disfavored can take a few extra lumps on the battlefield, but that only speaks to their thick-headedness. If anything, it's only true because his soldier placed that much trust in it. I've seen the power of suggestion do stranger things to people. Stranger things than heal better wounds? I don't think so. Suit yourself. I'm just putting it out there. And I don't see you coming up with any great explanation for a soldier who bounced back from a killing wound. I mean, I just saw magic that came from probably miles and miles away, so this isn't that strange. Who you see take Ash's place? Rather Let the disfavor sort it out among themselves. Graven Ash is this aging figurehead of what should be a constantly changing role. The right soldier needs to grow a pair and kill the old man, kick his cane out from under him, remind the legion what strength looks like. The voices of Narat changes. He's a multifaceted gem, and the Scarlet Chorus is a reflection of that beauty. If someone could rise up and strike down the voices, any of us would follow them in a heartbeat. I see. So, if I were to theoretically murder the bastard, I'd get an army, is that it? Interesting. I suppose you have a better idea? Of course I do. First, I stop babying the troops. Pain is a lesson best learned early. I'd conscript them from the locals to bolster the front lines, because why waste your elite on the vanguard? Then I'd leave any misplaced ethics back in the Northern Empire. They are not helping Kairos' campaign anyway, so fuck them. You take away everything that makes them. I mean, they have their way, right? It's a damn fine alternative from where I'm standing. If all the strength couldn't end the siege, what good is it to anyone? Well, that's true. Would that be so wrong? The chorus is accountable for itself in ways that the disfavored aren't. Our weak die and the strong fight to keep their rank. The disfavored promote their waning bloodline and discipline any soldiers with the audacity to show their teeth. Though they'd never admit it, the disfavored need the chorus to show them the way. Alright. What do you think? Do you think that disfavor has a chance to succeed in the tiers? Speaking as one of the exceptions, most of the tiermans are pushovers. The people of Star Wars seem capable enough, though I have my doubts. You might call them the disfavor's best challenge. Even if they succeed, it might be too late to redeem themselves. The chorus have already impacted the conquest more than the disfavored have, or likely ever will. Alright, what about your thoughts on their battle strategy? They really got something with that flanks maneuver, a formation built on holding still, move forward slowly, and hoping that no one slips in the mud. At best, the disfavored are tired of using the same tactics over and over again. At worst, the enemy knows what to expect out of them. The Scarlet Furies are dancers. We hear the music of battle and organize ourselves in the works of killing art. Every fight is as hot and passionate as the last, with no room for stale routine. Alright, that's cool. What do you think about those who defy Kairos' authority? Now, this is a very inquisitive question. The Tearsmen can either fight or submit to Kairos' peace, and only one of those options capture my interest. I suppose I appreciate when they go down fighting. If they did otherwise, I would need to find another excuse to flay them. They need to understand whether we unified Tears under a shared banner, where the bottom of a mass grave makes little difference to you, me, or Kairos. Well, that's an interesting view. It's a pragmatic one, anyway. The Scarlet Chorus count onto the idea at the beginning of the campaign. If no one objects that we are here to carve a bloody path for gain and amusement, then by all accounts that is our purpose. Besides, unification is such a vague concept that Kairos allows the disfavored and the chorus to interpret it as they will. The Overlord is concerned with results. I am happy to focus on the details, especially if that means cutting off a farmer's legs while his family watches their land burn. She smiles at a pleasing memory. Gotta be honest with you. If you understood how a Scarlet Fury makes art out of death, you might not think so. Keep an open mind, you might enjoy the things I show you. Your words don't faze her in the slightest. She only nods. A suspicion confirmed. Eesh. Did you find any notable battles? I spent some time in the Azure toward the end of the war. Beastmen ripped my unit apart. We thought they might be working under Cairn's orders, but we never found out for sure. I see. Learn a thing about it too. You learn a thing or two about fighting a Scarlet Chorus. Scared to do?
That would be an understatement, and I thought you'd never ask. Since you're obviously at a huge disadvantage, I'll let you pick our weapon of choice.
Let's see. How about dual wielding? They're kind of like Fizz, except, bladed.
Exotic. Good choice. I'll leave you to guess which one is my dominant hand.
I have Gain 5 dual-wield skill ranks. Okay. Slash and parries unrestrained ferocity. At times it becomes difficult to follow her movement. After taking more than a few cuts, you learn to relax your eyes and better follow the subtle motion of her dance.
You held your own. Call me impressed. Need anything else, or did I tire you out?
Oh, I got some skill points. Cool. Anyways, let's take a look. Dual wield, 27. I see. 7 ranks plus quickness. I see. How does this goes again? 15 ranks plus finesse and plus quickness. Quickness also. I've been told that I should add. Let's see, where is it? Quickness. I've been told that I should add more points in the quickness. Dump it all in even. So I guess I'll be doing that for a bit. So influence, verse. You know, the thing I like about this game is that they fill up orderly. They fill up individually. They don't take away from each other. So apparently it's possible to fill up them both and get both skills, which I think is great. I like its loyalty and fear, and not like the opposite of each other. It's great. What else? What else we got? Let's see.
Fatebinder. Always a pleasure.
Loyalty 2. Verse sizes you up with open curiosity. When her assessment is done, she laughs to herself, shaking
What
her
do you
head.
need?
Let's see. Was there any conversation that, Ah, yes. Are you a spy? Insufficient, I see.
If you insist. What? Until then, I plan to take whatever I can.
Okay, how about your skills? Nope, I don't got any of those. Scarlet Chorus,
The Scarlet
favor.
Chorus is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers.
Sisters.
What do you need to know? What do you need to know?
Alright, I think we're done here. Time to move on to the next place. This favorite camp, alright. 2 hours and 45 minutes to complete your journey. Does that matter? Oh shit, we're on a time limit, aren't we? Great. Spells are created from both core and expression stitches. I know all this already. Alright, we're here. Let's go talk to some people, but first. Chaos Edict, no, Conqueror's Will. What am I supposed to be looking at? Oh, proclaim it to the Archons, alright. I was also told to use more touch-based magic. So, well, here we go. More touching. Take what you can carry, but leave the cart, otherwise we seize you and your wares. What's going on? Hail, Fatebinder! The disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camp is up on ahead, don't mind us. We're just clearing out the rabble. Alright. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that they are now disfavored these are now disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give lead the Legion a proper toll. But she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? I'm not allowed to trade one thing for another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. Let's see. The Overlord regulates all trade. If you lack the proper permits, your goods are forfeit. A trade permit? Well, how was I mean, to whom would I speak for such a thing? Not us, and not our problem. Maybe march your butt to the bastard city and plead your case before Tunon. But we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable. Ah, yes. Let's see, better start making a strong argument as to why I should help you. Not my concern. Anything to be argued before Tunon may be argued before me. I am the lawyer. I have lost favor with the disfavored. Fuck you. I'm just doing my job. What's there to discuss? We should kill this mongrel. And the warrior pauses, placing her hand in front of her mouth. With a fate binder wishes to wade in on the matter. Courtesy demands we listen. The soldier clears her throat, looking at you expectantly. This is a disfavored matter, but I know the agents of the court do so love to throw their judgment around. Fuck you. Who do you think you're under the charge of? You're under the Overlord's law. Alright. Let's see, well, you could rob me now and have my supplies today. The merchant grabs a flask from his cart. Or you can leave me alive and have fermented honey all year long. I even know a few family recipes for painkillers and healing draughts. Certainly any army will need those. He uncorks a small ceramic oh, and the aroma of clover and lanolin assaults your nose. I see. Essentials go to war effort, we should leave the supplier intact. Lawbreaker. You have a lot of perishable goods, but no hauling crew. You're just a battlefield looter. Ah, interesting. Let's see, what are we curious, which is about hearing about a supply caravan of reagents going missing. Let's see. Got law, what a call incident. Your family recipe for wound paste smells just like the Scarlet Fury's own concoction. Where'd you steal this? See. Let's try the lawbreaker. Let's see what I get out of this one. I don't, the merchant tenses up, his face flushing red. I don't know what you're getting at. Athletics. Pick him up, huh? To the disfavored, I think this family. You're right, kill this liar, and share the proceeds with the Legion. I see. I try. Oh, I could up my athletics here. Yes, skill points. I found most everything out in the forest of the valley. I keep my head low when I first hear sounds of combat, then I take a look and grab whatever wasn't claimed by the first victor. So you stole from the disfavored dead? How else did you get your hands on that iron? The scout points to the merchant's cart. You would come here and sell us our own armaments. If anything has an owner, I will return it, but this iron would have turned to rust if I left in the mud of the battlefield. The disfavored are few in numbers, is that not right? You need a man like me to get up supplies that would otherwise go to waste. Let's see. Let's see, which one... there's a lot of... which one benefits... what even kind of benefits am I looking for anyway? Shit. Anyway... let's see... Trade your wares freely now. No, that's it. Yeah, this one will do. This favor will like me more, certainly. We will? Let's see. As his favorite soldier clears her throat with a cough before repeating herself in a more upbeat manner. We will. It sickens me to make exceptions for this vulture, but if you supply the disfavored without profit, perhaps this indiscretion is for the best. Yes. Best for the war effort. I totally meant to do that. It's not like our larders are overflowing. A work slave to scrounge the provision would be an asset. Favor with Lethian's crossing. Oh, is that so? Sterling Hagnon, thank you for interceding on my behalf. I know my life will now depend on showing the disfavored due gratitude for suffering my presence. If I must grovel a bit to earn my daily grain, so be it. Ah, yes. Everybody is happy. Very nice. I did it. I think I should save a bit. It's been a while. I mean, it's not like I got very deep into the game, but I did do a lot of dialogues, and nobody wants to see that again.